Tiffany stood in front of the fireplace in the elves' welcome center. Chris's big debut would begin shortly. The news had already circulated amongst the citizens of the North Pole, and they were excited to bring him into the fold. Tiffany was so glad everything had worked out where he was concerned, but she couldn't stop thinking about Dominic. Last night had meant so much to her, more than she'd ever admit. She couldn't wait to see him again, but she was dreading the very real possibility that she would lose him soon. She looked around the room. The Spirit, Dasher, Shauna, and Leanne, the head caretaker elf, were all listening as Harvey gave them a recap of how the official Santa search was going. This was standard procedure, and with Chris's decision to become an elf, Tiffany wasn't participating in the process.
"I think we are left with 3 excellent candidates,"
he said with a bright smile.
"I'd like to hear each of your thoughts or the thoughts of your people before we move on with Christopher's celebration."
"The animal members of the North Pole community continue to put our support behind Mr. Jeffrey Jefferson,"
Dasher expressed. With a nod, Leanne added, "As of right now, the children are in support of Mr. Brendan Kiffin, though that is because Christopher has decided to stay on in a different role." "The elves reported the same to me this morning," Shauna said. "Chris was their top choice, but they are putting their support behind Brendan now. He really won them over last night during karaoke." "I'm so sad I missed it," Tiffany laughed. "Well, I'm sure Chris will give you an encore performance anytime." The room grew quiet and still as they waited for the spirit of Christmas to share her thoughts. Essie moved through the air around Dasher's antlers and came to rest on Leanne's shoulder. She focused all of her attention on Tiffany, who could feel it in her heart like a penetrating laser.
"A decision has already been made," the spirit expressed. "All that remains are the details of the journey."
The silence in the room seemed to grow thicker, despite the crackle of the fire. There was no point in asking her to clarify. Essie was unlike the other creatures in the North Pole because she existed in and outside of time. If Santa had already been chosen in the future as a result of the last 24 hours, Tiffany should see that as a good sign, because they would be in big trouble if none of the men worked out. Instead, Tiffany felt her palms starting to sweat, and a sour feeling settled in her stomach. It was one thing when her thoughts were clouded by her own uncertainties and doubts, but Essie's certainty gave her hope and absolutely terrified her in equal measure. Tiffany feigned relief and plastered a smile on her face, even though Essie could see right through her. "That brings me comfort," she lied. "I think we would all be happy to have any one of them." Harvey cleared his throat.
"Mrs. Claus, is there anything more you would like to add about our candidates? Any personal thoughts?"
"Oh, not particularly. I think I'll know more by the end of the day. I will definitely let you know if I have anything to share," Tiffany said. She caught the way Shauna rolled her eyes, but kept her opinions to herself.